Hello, Scorpio. Welcome into your end of year reading. We have just come out of the winter solstice and we are in the spring equinox. I'm going to go ahead and look at what cycle has just completed for you. To do so, I am using these archetype cards. Archetypes are really fascinating ways to think about the roles, the lessons, what we're doing in our lives, what sort of karmic pathway, right? An archetype allows us to do that. So some of the archetypes you might be familiar with include like a villain, the damsel in distress, the hero, this kind of character. We often see them in stories, but they allow us to play out certain lessons, karmic lessons. So my question is, which one has just finished for you, Scorpio, in the last year? So Spirit, this just popped right out. Thief. Okay, well, so that's where we're going to begin. So this reading is for Scorpio, end of cycle reading, Thief. So if you're Scorpio, sun, moon, or rising sign, you're dealing with a Scorpio, or the title of this reading resonated with you, then welcome. This is a timeless reading, so it'll apply to you whenever you see it, although I am reading at the beginning of the new astrological year, which began in the spring equinox for 2022 in March. But again, like I said, whenever you see this, it's when this is for you. So, all right, let's just move this along. Thief. So I've got reversals in here. We've got cards. So if it came out in reverse, I'm going to read the shadow. If it came out upright, I'll read the light attribute. So the light attribute is sheds light on the potential wealth within you that could never be stolen. Okay, so really, that's an interesting read, because the shadow is stealing money, creative ideas, affection, or powers you think you lack. So a thief is someone who takes from others because they don't believe that they have it, the ability to manifest or create or fulfill their needs on their own. And this is something that you really learned how to do well last year, Scorpio, is how to understand your own power when it comes to like anything in the material world, right? Or even power, right? It says here power. And I really love this picture of a heart on the inside jacket of this person. It's like, you can't steal my heart. And of course, right, the ultimate love is self-love. So this is someone who really knows their worth. It's an amazing lesson. So let's see. So for this reading, I'm going to go ahead and get some tarot to clarify. There will be an extended reading where I will go deeper on what comes up in this reading, as well as get some animal advice, spirit, animal guidance, and some additional, and message from your soul message. So, all right, let me just keep this going. So let's clarify through the Voyager Tarot your what you've gone through this last year, Scorpio. So we have Thief, Spirit. Can you please help us clarify what cycle is ending? So I'm going to pull four cards. The first card, I'm just going to look at where you are in the current situation, how you have grown, what needs to be let go of, and then a surprise message from the universe. So let's see. That first card is going to be you in the current situation. So where are you at this time, like coming out of the darkness of winter and emerging in the light of spring? Where is Scorpio now, Spirit? This is interesting. Two of Wands. And on this card, it's got the word purity. I don't know how well. There you go. You can see that purity is written on the top, right? So, it's really interesting to me, Scorpio, that this is the card that comes up for you, right? This totally is in alignment with you understanding your own ability to understand that you have wealth that can never be stolen, right? Your true wealth. And that is because you're really coming from a very place of pure heart. I want to go ahead and read this card. So it says here that you should look for continuing patterns of expropriating from others materially, intellectually, and emotionally, right? And so this is what you've worked on over the past years, really getting rid of that, right? Purifying that out of your life, pretty much taking from others so that you can fulfill and meet your own needs. It says here that, you should also look at this from the symbolic meaning in the emotional and intellectual areas, including stealing ideas, plagiarism, and even affection. It says you don't need to earn self-respect by taking what isn't yours because you lack the ability to provide for yourself. So really purifying yourself from all of these kinds of behaviors that really demonstrate low self-worth. And in the shadow aspect, you're not stealing because you actually have need, but out of perceived need. You could afford to buy the things that you have. So the thief really pushes you to generate power from within by alerting you when you're in danger of losing faith in yourself. So you've really solidified, right? This is what you've purified, is faith in who you are, faith in yourself. So that's great. Good job. That's a great place to be, Scorpio. Certainly I can imagine the tests that you had to go through, the trials to really understand your own self-worth, your own ability to provide for your own needs without stealing or taking from someone else. Really, you would have been tested, and you passed those tests pretty successfully is what it looks like from the universe. So what more, Spirit, can you tell us about the growth? Where has Scorpio really grown the most over this past year? Growth gets growth. Literally, this card says growth, 10 of Wands. So this really makes me think that this was an area of your life that was pretty stagnant. And you may have struggled, right? You may have entered this time last year really questioning whether you could do these things for yourself. And what Spirit is saying is you have done an excellent job of being able to move out of that place of fear. Usually that's rooted in fear. And really being able to accomplish some amazing things for yourself and stand in your own truth and understand your own worth and values that you don't have to take from anyone else. So a lot of growth and expansion around that. What has to be let go that hasn't been let go yet? So there's still there could be some parts of this cycle that haven't quite been completed. So what still needs to be let go of? What do we have that still needs to be let go of? Empress. So the Empress card is interesting here. Let go of. The Empress really, this just kind of looking at this card, Empress is a card of creativity. There is some Empress in your life, like a woman, someone who kind of overshadows where you began to get this idea that you had, you lacked power, right? You lacked power or even affection, right? There could be some Empress that is overshadowing a kind of mother figure. It could be mother issues around your mother, and mothering yourself. That work still needs to be done. A little bit of work around mothering and taking care of yourself. Yeah, definitely getting the sense that that still needs to be released. Maybe needing other people to mother you, which could set you up in a kind of codependent place, or being overly mothering, right? So if you're a mother, maybe you've got some codependency, right? Toxic kind of mothering going on. But the Empress is really, this is really coming out in the what needs to be released. And I would say a lot of this over nurturing, over caregiving, maybe even looking at how you were mothered and how that is playing itself out in your relationships with the people closest to you. Right, so there's some work. I'll go a little bit further in that, in all of these cards, in the extended, so we could go a little bit deeper there. All right, and the final card is, what is the surprise from the universe? What's the surprise from the universe? Surprise is a wild card for next year. Surprise, I'll just shuffle one more time. Surprise for the universe for next year for you. We're already in that time, but if you're watching this, so in the next cycle, just say it like this, in the next cycle for you, what's a surprise for you in your next cycle, in your new cycle? Scorpio, the sun. Lots of happiness and joy is awaiting for you. You don't know. In this new cycle, because of this lesson of the thief, that you did a really good job in learning your own creative power, Spirit is telling you, get ready for a lot of joy and happiness, abundance coming into your life. So that's it for this cycle. I'm going to go ahead and close it out with an oracle card from the Whispers of Healing, to think about like what a final message is on your healing work that you've done, because all of these karmic lessons are really about strengthening us as we get closer and closer to attaining enlightenment, ascend, come in alignment with love and the divine. What is the final message, Spirit, that you have for Scorpio here? Final message for Scorpio. Very interesting. Commit to happiness. It's beautiful. So the rainbow. And this is a surprise the universe really has for you coming up. The sun and lots of happiness and joy. So, like I indicated, I imagine that the lessons of learning your self-worth here would have been a lot of tests, a lot of like really needing to grow, which you've done quite a good job at. Look at this beautiful rose, right? A lot of purification. So it's possible there for you, Scorpio, you had a lot of toxic behaviors going on in yourself, and you were able to really shed that to come out kind of fresh and new. You've got some lingering mothering, codependency. There might be like I said, a Taurus or a Libra in your life that needs to go, or someone who embodies this diva sense. That needs to go to the wayside. It's holding you back. But really, you've got great joy coming up in this new cycle for you. Lots of happiness, abundance, helping to reflect, right, that you know your worth, you know who you are. And so, get that out of the way. Commit to happiness. Spirit says, card, it's number 34. It's a 7 card. True happiness comes from within. It's hard to be happy when everything in your life seems to be falling apart. Yeah, I mean, that's the sense, right? Like, you can't have this kind of lesson and grow as much as you've grown without having to have gone through some turbulence. When you are facing a crisis, you may look for alternative ways to have more energy or be soothed. Pay attention to what you do to comfort yourself. Do you binge eat, drink excessive amounts of coffee on the go, or go on shopping sprees? Oddly, these activities are counterproductive to achieving happiness. You may be comforted in the moment, but in the long run, you are setting yourself back. It is difficult to feel happy when you are tense, overtired, depressed, or unable to exercise due to circumstances. You may feel lost, give up hope, as if you will never feel well enough to achieve your dreams. Your life circumstances may have changed, but it is important to find something new you can become completely absorbed in. Appreciate the good moments, up days, and the blessings in your life. Stop for a minute and reflect on the glimpses of happiness life is constantly giving you. Look at your situation realistically. Face the reality of your capabilities and limitations and know that you can be happy. Take simple steps every day to make you feel in control and happy. It's up to you to claim your happiness. Yeah. So basically, it says the rainbow energy flowing from the goddess represents your chakras. Ensure your basic needs are met and your chakras are balanced. When you are working on happiness, try to balance yourself as much as possible. So you really just want to make sure you've got a flow of good energy coming in. You've done a lot to ground yourself, to develop a great sense of self-worth and self-empowerment. So good job to you, Scorpio. Just continue to commit to be happy. And remember, happiness is not about everything being perfect, and certainly not about you being perfect, right? It's about you really understanding, that you're human. You've got some really amazing things that go on in your life, and then you've got some things that you wish you could have everything. Well, none of us can, but you now know you don't have to take from anyone else, that you're enough. You're enough. And so just commit to happiness in the new year. So, all right. Thank you, Scorpio. And I will continue on with this reading in an extended.